Namaste yogis, Mandy from Private Yoga. A couple of you have requested a hip opening practice, and I've been chatting to a lot of mums who have kids with really tight hamstrings. So I'm going to combine these two together and work both hips and hamstrings at the same time. Now for this you will need a block, and if you don't have a block, get one. Or get a beach towel. You need it to be a big towel, and when we use that it needs to be folded up so that it's got a bit of height to it, so it's quite similar to the block. It'll compress down, but that will suffice. And you'll also need a strap. Now if you don't have a strap, you can buy these from Yoga King. They're at Salisbury here in Brisbane, or online. You can just use a belt. Most of this practice is going to be done lying on the floor. Yes. So let's lie down. Lie on your back. Move your props off to the side. And I want you to press your lower back down onto the floor. So that will engage your abs. Bring your knees in towards you and just start to rock from side to side, and maybe move the knees around in a circle. And then take it in the opposite direction. You should be able to feel all the muscles that run along the lower back and the sacrum pressing down onto the floor. Then keep your right knee hugged in and stretch your left leg down. Now if your hips are tight, that's going to be intense. So you can just bend your knee and put the foot on the floor. Draw really tightly in with this right knee towards your chest. And when you start to feel a bit of a stretch and compression in the hip joint, firm that left leg down towards the floor. And then I want you to draw the knee out to the side, all the while keeping active in your extended leg. Pull your right knee out towards your armpit. Take a couple of breaths here. Bring your knee back to center. Bend the opposite knee and the foot goes on the floor. Take this foot up. The sole of the foot faces upwards. This is half happy baby pose. Your forearm goes inside. You can grab the inside of the foot or outside if you can reach, and start to pull this knee down towards the floor or your armpit. Stretch here in this hamstring, and your left leg is then going to straighten out, and push that thigh down as you draw down through this top foot. You can take the left hand and help by firming it down with your hand. Then bend that left knee back in and place your right ankle on top for a figure of 4. Lift your left foot and thread your hands through. Grab the back of the leg. The more you pull the left leg in towards you, the further you should feel the stretch here on your right glute. You can also place a little bit of pressure on the inside of your right knee. Now, I like to move from side to side. Just helps to shift some of the fluids around in my hip joint. If you like to stay still, then stay still. We'll take a couple of breaths here. Let go and put your left foot on the floor, and just like ladies who do ladies things, cross your leg over the top. Bring your arms out to a T, and both legs are going to roll over to the left. You get a big stretch here along the right side of your hip, and if you can, turn your head in the opposite direction to your knees. Allow the breath to fill into the right armpit all the way down to the hip through the ribs. And then draw your legs back up. Keep your right leg on top of your left and pick up your feet. This is reclining cow face pose, the best glute stretch ever. With your left hand, grab your right ankle, and with your right hand, grab your left. Now, some people can't reach this other foot. Maybe your arms are short or you've got some tummy in the way. Lasso with a strap. We want to pull the shins up and then down in towards our armpits. Now, if you're here, it's not going to do very much at all. You need to lift up, keep the lower back on the floor and pull down. Woo, glute stretch. Again, make a little sway from side to side if that helps to loosen things up for you. Then release. Put the left foot on the floor and grab your strap. We're doing the whole right leg first. Place the strap around the ball of your foot. We want this knee to be as straight as possible, but try not to lock it out. For those of you with hyperextension, keep a little micro bend here. Toes draw down, heel presses up, and check your pinky edge. It tends to tilt up here. So draw it down and you'll get a slight external rotation of the hip. Now, if you've just got a belt, you're staying here. If you've got a strap and it's looped, you can come into my favorite hamstring hammock and pop that strap around the back of your head. So once your brain gets over the fact that you're being supported by a strap, straighten out your left leg. You'll see I'll get that little lift in the back of my head. So I can put some pressure on the strap and get a nice lengthening on my cervical spine, or I can push my head into the strap and that's going to draw my leg further down this way and I'm stretching more into my hamstrings. Now you can stay here for as long as you like. If your hammies are really tight, put this video on pause and stay here for 5 minutes. I'm going to keep it short and sweet for today. So take one more breath here. Take the strap off your head if you're doing that. If you're still holding it close up towards your foot, great. Draw down with your toes. Push up through your heel. You can take your right hand and externally rotate that hip. We're going to stretch along our gastrocnemius calf muscle and our IT band on the outside of the thigh. Often when they are tight, it pulls also on our hamstrings. We don't want the back of the pelvis to lift. So you're staying here, this arm's your counterweight, and start to lower this leg. You may feel it just here. It's going over to that left side, and already, because I actually went for a run this week, I know, stop it, I can feel it on the outside of my calf. Some of you are going to find it behind your knee, maybe where the insertion point of the hamstring is. Hold it here. Again, pause the video, and if it's feeling really tension-ish, then stay here. And then I'm going to take the leg all the way over and come into a twist. Now, I'm super flexy, so this is easy for me. If it's not for you, bend your knee in and just let go of the strap. For those of you who want to go further, cat pulling its tail, you can bend the bottom knee and grab the foot and pull that heel in towards your butt. There's a whole lot going on here, so take 2 breaths. Let that left leg straighten out. Pick up your right leg. You can take the strap off and lower that right leg down onto the ground. Now my right leg feels about 5 centimeters longer than my left. So we better even it out. Bend both knees on the floor. That just keeps the pelvis in alignment. And grab your left knee. Squeeze it into your chest. Right leg, straighten it out. And actively push down to the floor. Then draw your left knee out towards your left armpit. Squeeze in. Bend your right knee, put the foot on the floor, half happy baby. The sole of the foot faces upwards. Forearm goes inside, grab the inside of the foot or the outside and pull the knee down towards the outer upper arm. Then your right leg will straighten and push down to the floor. You get this awesome stretch here on your hamstrings. Bend this right leg back in, figure of 4 hip opener. Pop that left ankle on the knee. Now to protect your ankle joints, pull your toes up. We call this a dorsiflexion. Lift up your right leg, thread your hands, pull the right leg in towards you. You have the option to maybe use your elbow or your hand, move the left leg away, and you can rock from side to side. Let go of the leg, pop the right foot on the floor and be a lady, cross your legs and take your arms out, pull your shoulders down, both legs really heavy, roll over to the right side. Take a breath in and let the body yield into the pose as you breathe out. Gaze goes over your left arm if that's available to you. And try and keep both shoulders flat to the floor. Bring those knees back up to center, reclining cow face pose. Pick up your feet, grab the opposite ankles. So if you can grab the tops of your feet, see how that ankle's getting a lot of pressure. Pull your toes up and do that dorsiflexion again, just to protect the joints. Lift the feet up and pull in towards you. I'm going to grab my ankles because it's easier for me, and move from side to side because that helps to loosen things up in my hip area. Release the legs. Pop your right foot on the ground, grab your strap again, place it around the ball of your left foot. The more you push up through the heel, the greater the tension on the back of the leg. Strap goes behind you, and watch my head as I lay my right leg down. So if you have really tight hamstrings, then you don't have to straighten out this other leg. It's going to assist your body until it's ready to straighten it out. So keep the knee bent. Again, if your hammies are tight, pause this video, stay here for 5 minutes. To be conservative with time, we're going to take 2 more breaths here. Take the strap from around the back of your head and lay down again. Reach up with your right hand, push up through the heel. You can take your thumb into the crease of your left hip and just externally rotate. We don't want the lower back to move, but this leg is going to start to move over to the right side. Now, we are generally tighter on one side than the other, so I've got a bit more movement on my left side. But I can again feel that tension on my calf muscle, my gastrocnemius, from that massive 3K run that I did on Monday morning. I was very proud of myself. All right, let's take this leg all the way over, come into the twist. Now, if this is difficult for you, bend the knee in, let go of the strap and roll. Some of you may be able to grab your big toe and you're coming into the twist. Flatten out the shoulders. Bend your bottom knee, grab the foot, pull it in towards your butt, and take your gaze upwards. Cat pulling its tail pose. Let go of the bottom leg, let go of the top foot, roll back onto your back, adjust your spine on the floor, and straighten out your legs, and hopefully you feel even. Last posture before we finish, you're going to grab your block, bend the knees for supported bridge pose, so opening onto the front of the hips. You can use your rolled up towel, lift up. I'm going to come up onto this second setting. Some people like to go up really high. I don't find that's very beneficial for me. So rest it so that your hip bones are stacked directly on top. Now the block needs to be by your gluteal fold, or as I say in class, your cracker's buttock. So move it down nice and low. You can straighten out both legs. You'll get a lift in the front of the chest, arms out to your side, lift them over the top of the head. We want to open across the front of the pelvis. When these hip flexors are tight, they can do all sorts of weird things to the back of our body. Stay here for 5 breaths. When you're ready to come out, bend your knees, feet flat to the floor, lift up, slide your block out, pop down, put the block off to the side. Heel toe your feet as wide as the mat and bring your arms to cactus or goalpost arms. Both knees, roll them over to the left side and pop your left foot on top of the right knee. Send the gaze in the opposite direction of the knee. That just helps to curl the spine. Let your top foot be heavy. And feel that your breath is drawing into this right hip space. So there's an expansion and a lengthening on your inhalation and a softening down of your exhalation. Again, you can stay in this pose. You can pause the video. I'm going to take my left foot off. Feet stay wide. Knees in the opposite direction. If that's enough for you, stay here. Pick up your right foot and pop it on that knee, and that will just weight the knee down towards the floor. Breath fills into this left hip area. Take the foot off the knee, come back to center. To release the lower back, have your feet wide and let the knees fall in, and you can just rest here for as long as you like. Come up when you're ready and use this practice to help lengthen the back of the body and stretch out those hips. What is it? 17.5 minutes. You can get on with your day. I hope you're all doing well. Blessings to you. Mwah! Namaste.